Good morning guys, how you guys doing? Today is Liam bringing you guys a new video. Today I'm bringing you guys a review of the Fever and Remedy, which is the hand cannon for the Wrath of the Machine. This week's weekly raid was the Wrath of the Machine, so if you complete the challenges then you can get the DAV version of this hand cannon to drop. So the difference between that DAV version and the regular version of this hand cannon obviously is the solar burn that DAV version has. But before I get into how good the weapon actually is, let's talk about how the weapon looks. Obviously the regular version has the same look of all black with red. Honestly, you always have liked that look, especially when you upgrade the hand cannon. You get the Shiva effects in all the weapons if you upgrade them, and that honestly is a pretty cool effect. So I have always liked the way the Wrath of the Machine weapons look, but with this DAV version now they changed the colors. Now it's more of a grayish with red, and also I gotta say that it looks pretty cool as well. It still has the Shiva effects of the regular version, so I gotta say that honestly either way you go, as far as look goes, honestly both of them look pretty cool. So moving on to how good the weapon actually performs, first I want to talk about PvE, and I gotta say that when you compare this hand cannon to the Fabringer, which is probably the more popular hand cannon in PvE, I gotta say that this hand cannon probably has the things that the Fabringer lacks, but it doesn't have the perks that the Fabringer has. For example, the Fabringer has Firefly, which is pretty good in PvE, and it has Outlaw. Now this hand cannon doesn't have that, but it does have the biggest problem on the Fabringer. It is range. This hand cannon, the thing that is not missing is range. Also the impact is really good in this hand cannon. Now as far as the perk goes, I don't think it's as helpful for PvE as maybe a Firefly or Outlaw might be, but it's still not the worst perks out there. Reactive reloader means that after you get a kill, you got a short amount of time where the weapon is going to do more damage. Obviously I think that this is helpful, but it's not the best thing for PvE, to be honest. The second perk actually works with reactive reloader. Basically, as long as the reactive reloader is active, you're gonna gain additional agility in your character, which I think is obviously is helpful, but it's not, like I said again, it's not Firefly, it's not Outlaw, it's not probably something good for PvE. But like I said in the beginning, the thing that you do have in this hand cannon is range, and honestly that's something that is really difficult to find in hand cannons, especially in exotic ones. So if you're looking for an exotic hand cannon that has range, I would say that this is the option. Also, like any single weapon that has a burn is always going to be more beneficial for strikes and nightfalls that have solar burn, so this is obviously a good option to go if you're playing that. As far as how good this weapon might be in the raid, like I said in the beginning, it's a good weapon. I don't think it is a bad option, but I think that there's other possibilities, especially in PvE. I think maybe scout rifles are probably better option, or pulse rifles and hand cannons. Unless you have something like a fast reload or perk in the hand cannon, then might not be the best choice to go with a hand cannon PvE. But moving on to PvP, I went into the Crucible thinking that this hand cannon was not going to work. Then I realized that this hand cannon has the two things that matters the most in the Crucible as far as hand cannons, and that is range and impact. That's something that you're never gonna find in other exotic hand cannon, like I said, and that is the most important thing right now in PvP as far as hand cannons. With all the nerfs to range and hand cannons, I gotta say that if you don't got max range, then you probably are gonna be in a disadvantage. As far as perk goes, I gotta say that reactive reloader is not a bad option for PvP. Honestly, a lot of the times you go against two people, if you get a kill on the first one, then it's gonna be a lot easier to kill the second one if you reload the weapon. Also, quick reaction is a bonus in this hand cannon. Obviously it's not gonna come in handy every single time, but sometimes it actually can be helpful in the Crucible as well. Now what I have found that people don't like about this hand cannon is stability, because in order to have max range in this hand cannon, you are gonna be trading away stability, and for me honestly I really don't care about stability in the hand cannon. The things that I care about the most is range, impact, and aim assist. And when you compare this hand cannon to an Ayaz Luna that doesn't have hidden hand, I gotta say that this hand cannon actually has more aim assist than the Ayaz Luna. So is this hand cannon the best hand cannon in the game? Obviously it's not. If you got a Ayaz Luna, if you got a palindrome that has rifle barrel, then you obviously have the same amount of range that this hand cannon has. On top of that, if you have something like rangefinder or hidden hand or lock in the chamber, that's probably even a better hand cannon than this one. That being said, when you compare this to other exotic weapons, like I said in the beginning, like the Hawkmoon, Torn, Last War, this hand cannon has the range and the impact that all of those hand cannons have been missing missing. So if the thing that you want to do is use the exotic hand cannon, or you're just not using, or sometimes you just want to try a new weapon, I would say go for it. I was actually pretty surprised at how good this weapon was on PvP. So anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please leave a like. If you guys can subscribe to the channel, that means a lot to me. I hope you guys have a great day guys. Take care guys. Peace.